Does Donald Trump really need an introduction? He was already well known around the world as one of the world's billionaires long before he became the US president. Aside from being a controversial 45th president of the United States of America, he featured in his own show dubbed The Apprentice, which became famous due to the "you're fired" catchphrase. He's also a billionaire real estate tycoon that has some pretty expensive tastes. Trump is a great example of what can be achieved when you have a lot of money, but where did all that money come from? The tale of Donald Trump's rise to power is essentially rooted in his parents' accomplishments. Fred and Elizabeth Trump created an international company in 1923 that is today known as the Trump Organization. This money-making machine will be passed down to Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the only owner of the corporation at this point, and most of its efforts are directed at the real estate development industry. As a result, you can guess how many properties it has constructed and acquired. There are numerous buildings throughout the world that bear the Trump stamp. However, he and his company do not truly own all of the properties in question. Some of them were created and are owned by a different corporation, but they were done so with Trump's permission and/or counsel. According to campaign finance disclosures released in 2016, Trump used $66 million of his own money for his presidential campaign, though he did boast that he was going to spend $100 million. Trump has always been known as a ladies' man. However, he was hit with a slew of sexual assault allegations during his 2016 presidential campaign. One of the most famous ones was with Stephanie Clifford, stage name Stormy Daniels. According to Daniels, Trump paid her a whopping $130,000 to keep her quiet. Forget the politics and The Apprentice, Donald Trump is first and foremost a real estate guy. He's been active in the industry since joining his father's company in the 1960s. It's where he made his billions and where he likely will continue to do so. Currently, Trump invests in properties all over the world. In the United States, Trump owns buildings in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Illinois, Florida, Hawaii, and Nevada. It's difficult to say how much money he's invested over the decades, but considering his specialty is high-class luxury apartment life, it's safe to say he spent hundreds of millions, if not billions, between buying, selling, and investing in all of these properties. Despite being a teetotaler who claims to have never even sipped alcohol in his life, Donald Trump owns a humongous winery. Evidently, he's not his own best customer. He purchased Charlottesville, a Virginia-based winery estate and vineyard, back in 2011. At the time, it was just a piece of distressed real estate. After that, he transformed it into a 1,300-acre haven of luxury. He grabbed the opportunity when the vineyard was at risk of foreclosure, and he was able to pay only about $3.5 million for the estate. His dealings could be described as both creative and shady. This is according to the Bank of America, who had paid $16 million for the property's mansion at a foreclosure auction. Trump first purchased hundreds of acres around the estate, then intentionally intended it to look closed off and rugged, leaving the property run down. According to the Bank of America, this move made their potential buyers shy away from making an offer on the winery, as they assumed the property was wrecked beyond repair or exclusively owned by Trump. This led the bank to accepting Trump's offer, and he flipped the place into something else and was valued as $25 million. Since renaming it to his name Trump, it became much more than a winery. The place features a clubhouse and has rooms available for rent to the general public. In fact, it is a well-known private wedding location in the state of Virginia. The winery has crafted several world-winning vintage wines. Their best Sauvignon Blanc, which has received several honors in 2011 and 2013, and Chardonnay are among the wines produced by the winery that have won awards. Despite the winery's booming success, he sold the winery to his son Eric. Donald Trump has a large number of properties in New York. Some of them will appear on this list and others will not. This Seven Springs estate is a good place to begin. This estate is located in Westchester County, New York, just outside of the town Bedford. It is 213 acres wide. There is a mansion with 13 bedrooms in the complex. However, there is enough space for another dozen mansions in the surrounding area. This property was purchased by Trump in 1995. At the time, it was only valued at $7.5 million. Local brokers have now placed a value on it of $40 million. Does Donald Trump live here? Just like the first property we discussed earlier, it has been mostly ignored. Perhaps it is one of Trump's luxurious guest houses. Alternatively, it may be merely one of his investments. The next item on the list is pretty obvious, since the building is so popular that it has made some popular appearances in movies you have loved. It's also one of Trump's most valuable possessions. Can you make a guess? If you guessed the Trump Tower, then you're absolutely correct. Trump Tower is a 58-floor, 664-foot tall, mixed-use skyscraper at 721 to 725 Fifth Avenue in the Midtown Manhattan neighborhood of New York City. Trump claims he bought it for just $1 million, but reports claim he must have spent spent about $10 million for it. The Trump Tower serves as the headquarters of the Trump Organization. The Trump Organization deals in real estate such as casinos, hotels, golf courses, and private residences. They also deal with their production company that released The Apprentice and a modeling agency. The organization itself is a huge investment for Trump, but what's inside the Trump Tower is our main focus for this video. Aside from the Trump Organization, it remains to be Trump's home before relocating to the White House. He owns a 3-story penthouse designed by Angelo Dongia. The penthouse covers an entire 11,000 square feet after Forbes unleashed a report contrary to the 33,000 square feet declared by Mr. Trump. The house screams billionaire nest due to its exquisite finishing, which is evident in the marble floors and walls, crystal chandeliers, frescoed ceiling, and gold-trimmed furniture. However, what makes it stand out the most are the gold finishes that will make you feel like you're in a king's palace. The curtains and furniture are all laced with gold. The place is valued between $64 to $100 million. That alone, plus the many businesses that are owned within the building, make its value priceless. Mar-a-Lago is the estate Donald Trump owns in the Palm Beach area, Florida. And just like most of his estates, this too has never been his residence. Trump is converting his estates into private clubs. The majority of them are available for public rental. Mar-a-Lago is a popular wedding destination, as evidenced by the fact that Donald Trump's own son, Eric Trump, got married here in 2014. Donald Trump purchased this 213-acre property for $10 million in 1985, and it's currently worth more than $250 million. It is definitely the most expensive private property in Florida. His second largest expense was reportedly air travel, an area in which he spent roughly $26 million on. Though that seems outrageous, we can only imagine that he saved a bit on traveling by using his own private jet. In fact, Trump has a fleet of personal aircrafts, including a commercial-sized plane, 3 helicopters, and a corporate jet. The largest one is his Boeing 757, which was built in 2011 and cost him $100 million. The Boeing 757 isn't a private jet, but it's a private aircraft that can accommodate more than 239 passengers, all in top-notch business class. It's among the most valuable and most powerful private planes on Earth. According to the New York Times, the 757 is a gas guzzler that costs thousands of dollars every hour it's in flight. That alone makes it now formally dubbed Trump Force One, the 8th most expensive plane in the world. The plane is likely worth even more now since Trump hired a designer to customize it and add some pretty luxurious touches into it, as the previous model was outdated. Inside, the plane has a lounge, bedrooms, a dining room, a guest room, and Trump's own master bedroom with a private cinematic entertainment system and bathroom. The bathroom has a sink with a 24-karat gold interior, but that isn't the only thing with golden fittings. Almost everything on the plane has been plated in gold. The plane itself is a technical marvel featuring a state-of-the-art computerized glass cockpit and boasting 2 Rolls-Royce engines that can propel Trump Force One to speeds exceeding 500 miles an hour. It's no wonder Trump didn't exactly want to park it in favor of the official Air Force One upon taking office, but that's exactly what he had to do, as the presidential plane has actual security measures and access to military operational secrets and procedures. His Cessna jet was reportedly purchased for $15.3 million. Trump also owns 3 helicopters, but only 2 have been seen in action. Trump is known to show off his wealth and doesn't spare us every time he gets the opportunity to do so. The 3rd helicopter seen doesn't officially belong to him and belongs to the White House. It is known as the Marine One and is the only helicopter he's allowed on as the president, also due to security reasons. In 2011, he bought a used Sikorsky S-76 copter, spending upwards of $7 million to acquire it, and he had proceeded to have some customizations made to it to fit the Trump expensive tastes. So he reportedly spent an extra $750,000 so famous New York aircraft designer Eric Roth could make the copter worthy of its owner's name. The mission was most certainly accomplished, as the Sikorsky, now with the name Trump spelled outside in giant lettering, is pure helicopter luxury. Almost everything inside, from the seats to the pillows, are either colored or covered in gold. Much of the wooden surfaces have the Trump family crest painted on it in gold, and even the seatbelts are plated in gold, because Donald Trump is known for stamping his personality onto everything he owns. As he's shown many times over the past few years, Donald Trump loves the game of golf. He's been investing in the sport since 1999 when he purchased his first club, but he certainly didn't stop at one. Currently, Donald Trump owns not 1, not 2, but 17 different golf courses around the world, valued at well over $300 million. In 2017, he had 12 golf courses in America alone as local investments. 3 golf courses in both New York and Florida, 2 in New Jersey, 1 in California, 1 in North Carolina, 1 in Washington, D.C., and 1 in Philadelphia. To top his list, Trump also owns 2 golf courses in Scotland, which is a genesis of the sport, 2 in Dubai, and 1 in Ireland. Many of those clubs were properties he snatched right after the Great recession in 2008, but still spent hundreds of millions of dollars on buying all these properties, considering all the renovations and flips that had to be made to turn them into worthy showcases for his brand and favorite sport. The Trump National Golf Club in Los Angeles cost him $27 million to purchase after a landslide sunk the 18th hole and forced the club into bankruptcy. Trump and his organization have since spent over $260 million renovating and updating it, making it the single most expensive golf course in history. He also sets the bar higher with his love for gold, as he owns a set of exclusive golf clubs manufactured by the Japanese company Honma, who only released 4 sets of its kind in existence. According to an NBC tracker, throughout his first 719 days in office, Trump spent 218 days at Trump Properties and 166 days at golf properties. During 12 golf trips made in 2017, USA Today reported that $60,000 alone was spent on golf carts for the Secret Service agents who had to accompany Donald Trump on the golf course. Even Eric and Donald Trump Jr., and all of his children for that matter, have the luxury of being protected by the Secret Service agents. According to CBS News, the cost of protecting Trump's 2 sons surpassed $190,000 by the end of his 3rd month in office. While Trump didn't pay this fee or any of these fees directly, American taxpayers certainly did. Like many wealthy people, Donald Trump has an exquisite car collection. His might be the most impressive around though. Trump doesn't keep or own dozens of cars, but what he does own are some of the most expensive, most powerful and high-quality luxury vehicles ever made. He owns a 2003 Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren, which ran over $445,000 upon release. He also owns a 1997 Lamborghini Diablo VT, a Mercedes Maybach S600, a Tesla Roadster, a 2016 Cadillac Escalade, a 2011 Chevrolet Camaro Indianapolis 500 pace car that he was supposed to drive in the 2011 Indy 500, and a 2015 Rolls-Royce Phantom. These models of the Rolls-Royce Phantom started with a price tag of $500,000 and are fully customizable to the client's needs. You can imagine how much money Trump splurged to make the interiors fit for a billionaire like him. I mean, he enjoys everything so lush and golden. Even though this may seem like the biggest spend on cars, there's an additional vehicle to his collection that's by far the most interesting. He owns a 1956 Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud, which is a replica of the original. The Silver Cloud was one of Trump's first cars that he fell in love with so much that he paid Rolls-Royce to make a replica for him. The offer was clearly enticing enough that the company happily agreed. In addition, he always had the chauffeur to drive him around. His over $400,000 Mercedes is the only car he used to drive personally. One of Trump's most prominent features is his world-famous hair. Trump's hair has always been the center of media attention and social media memes. And why not? It's always close to perfection and not a single strand seems to fall out of place. However, do you know how much it costs to maintain this kind of hairdo? Rumor has it that Trump uses some kind of technology that boosts hair growth and thickness. The procedure in question can reach up to $60,000. Although debates about him wearing a wig had sparked years ago, he clarified by asking an audience member to touch his head and hair. With that much wealth, Trump is justified to spend all his money. Now, I don't know about you, but I can't keep track of everything that Donald Trump has spent his money on. I didn't even know it was possible to spend that much money. If you had as much money as he did, how would you use it? I know what I would do. Let's exchange ideas in the comment section below. Before you go, make sure you give us a like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Tap the bell icon to turn on notifications so you can stay up to date with all our latest videos. If you want to discover how Bill Gates spends his billions, also check out this video showing up on screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video.